You guys ready to get started? All right, so I am Cindy. I am an Emerald coach on Team Rising Up. I started coaching with Beachbody in June of 2016. I had some pretty major life events happen right after I joined. My mom went in the hospital for a month. And then while she was in the hospital, my dad's health took a turn, and I wasn't able to focus 100% on the business. And it wasn't until December that everything started clicking. And since then, I have hit Success Club in January, February, March, and April now. And I am also working on growing my business and working towards Diamond. I started with Beachbody in March of last year. I was at my heaviest of 230 pounds. I had just had some health issues. They were checking for ovarian cancer, and we were given the option of a endometrial ablation or hysterectomy, and we chose the ablation. After that, I decided that I needed to take my health in control, and after following my coach Whitney for almost a year and a half, she reached out and asked me to join her clean eating group, and I did. And once I joined that accountability group, I was absolutely hooked. We had done P90X in the past. I started with 22-minute hardcore. We were leaving for the beach in beginning of June. I wanted to be under 200 pounds, and I did that. I lost 36 pounds in 9 weeks. And from there, I did 21 Day Fix Extreme and Country Heat and Insanity and Quarter Force, and I am officially down 90 pounds. I truly believe in Beachbody. Shakeology has done wonders for myself and my husband. Adam has always had gut issues. He would live in the bathroom, and 2 weeks after we started on Shakeology, I realized he wasn't in the bathroom. So that was it for us. We became Shakeology lifers from there. So that's how I got started with Beachbody. I'm really excited to be on this call with you guys and answer any questions you all may have. And if you're not muted, make sure you mute your all's phones. You ready, Brandy?
I am. I wasn't sure if Tabitha had made it home yet. But
I didn't know she did either.
Okay, well, I'll introduce myself. My name is Brandy, and I'm also a coach on Team Rising Up. I signed up originally as a discount coach because I wanted to get Shakeology and stuff for the best price that I could. At the time, I was working 50 or 60 hours a week as a business owner. I was running a preschool and a childcare, and I was tired. I wasn't healthy. I weighed more than I had ever weighed outside of my childbearing years, or I should say outside of when I was pregnant, still within those years. And I had a lot of health symptoms that were baffling doctors. My doctor at the time wanted to test me for fibromyalgia, which I didn't really jump on board with that. I just felt like, I just feel like I need to just take care of myself. I don't need prescription medicine. I just need to take care of myself. But I was really struggling to find the tools to do that. I also suffered really bad with canker sores. And I know that's, kind of an embarrassing thing to share, but I know that there's other people out there that suffer with them, and they are no joke. So when I saw a friend that was doing Beachbody and she was getting healthy and turning her life around, I thought, maybe this would be the avenue for me to turn my life around, my health around. My main focus at that point was just my health. And so we knew that we wanted to close my business because the stress level was just it was astronomical, and I knew that it was affecting me health-wise. And that took us a couple of years to work towards that, to financially be able to close that business. But when we did, I thought, I'm just going to jump in with both feet. I'm going to do 21 Day Fix. I'm going to drink this Shakeology every day. And I did. And the first things that I noticed were things like the aches and pains that were pointing towards fibromyalgia. Those were gone. I wasn't getting canker sores anymore. My cycles weren't as painful. I struggle with endometriosis still to this day, but I did notice it made a difference for me. And I noticed that my family started making comments. My sisters and my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, aunts started sharing the product. And before I knew it, I had people that were purchasing things from me, and I was like, like I could maybe make some money at this. And sure enough, I found that the more I shared, the more people wanted to join me in this health and fitness journey. I had people like our dentist, my chiropractor, my son's football coach, purchasing 21 Day Fix and signing up as coaches just because I was sharing my journey, which I had a true passion for because it had helped me so much. I went from weighing more than I had weighed ever to being in the best shape that I had been in, which I thought those days were behind me. I'm well into my mid 30s, and I didn't think that I could feel that good about myself physically at this point in my life. And I did, and I do. And that's kind of contagious, when you are able to turn, health things like that around, and when you're able to gain this new sense of self-esteem, and it's contagious. People notice, all you have to do is talk about it. I did have a point last year, a little over a year ago, where I had an abdominal surgery, and that's when they discovered that I have endometriosis. But I think I felt really intimidated about sharing where I was at that point in my life. And I noticed that I wasn't, I just wasn't sharing my journey as much. And I kind of felt myself backsliding a little bit in my business. And I thought, I really don't want to lose this momentum. And I'm about to go into surgery again at the end of May. I'm having a hysterectomy. And I just realized there's so many people that are at the same point in our lives that we are. We really need to embrace where we're at and share that journey. My workouts might not look the same right after my surgery as they do right now, but you know what? That's okay. I still want to share those. So I'm learning to really embrace where, I'm at, what phase of life I'm in, because there's somebody out there that relates to that. So that's basically my story. That's where I'm at. I have really enjoyed finding the freedom that this business has provided for me and my family. I would say the biggest thing that I can encourage you guys to do as you set out on your business is to just share where you're at. And don't be intimidated by that. Don't think, oh, nobody wants to hear my story. There's somebody out there that would love to be where you're at, or who is in, the same point in their life, and they can relate to you. So I would say definitely share. One thing that I have learned throughout the last, throughout this journey of becoming a health coach on Team Rising Up is that, there's days that maybe it's harder to share. Maybe you're feeling uninspired or like you don't have anything to offer. And one of the trainings that I went through recently had said, if you're feeling uninspired, have you done your workouts, and are you doing self-development? Because if you're doing those things, you're filling yourself up, and you're going to have something to give, something to encourage other people with. So don't forget to be a product of the product. Fill yourself up, do your self-development, do your workouts, drink your Shakeology, and share that journey with other people, and you guys will do great in this business.
Okay, I'm still not home, but I can jump on. Sorry. I am Tabitha, and today is a prime example of why I am a coach. So I started my journey back in October of 2014. I signed up with Whitney as a discount coach. I only wanted to save money on Shakeology because I live in Canada and it's way more expensive here than it is in the States. I dabbled a little. I had a few people reach out when I started losing weight, asking me what I was doing and how they could jump on and do the same. I was making a little bit of money. And then I decided last January, I had a conversation with Whitney and said, you know, like I put some time into it, probably not as much as I could. So I'm going to give it 3 months. I'm going to give it my all. And if it isn't where I want it to be, then I'm throwing in the towel. And so I gave it my all for 3 months, 90 days. I went all in. I hit Success Club every month. I hit not just Success Club, but Success Club 10. I was beyond my imagination what I was doing in my business, the people I was reaching, the people I was helping. After 3 months, we touched base and my passion was lit. I ended up going to Nashville for a summit in July. After that, everything else is history, because if none of you have been to Summit, you have to be there this year. Your passion and desire for this business that you are building right now will be lit on fire. Another reason I decided to sign up as a coach is my son is type 1 diabetic. That makes it very difficult for a mom to get a job, knowing that I have to leave at any given minute, that I am on call 24/7, and my priority would not be work ever. And it still never is. And today is that exact example. My son woke up sick this morning, and I didn't have to call my boss and say I wasn't coming in. I didn't have to call and ask for the day off or take a sick day. We've been at the hospital all afternoon, hence why I'm still driving. And I had nobody to answer to but myself. It was okay for me to take that day. And that alone is worth anything in the world. Knowing that you have that freedom to take a day off because your kids need you, knowing that you have the freedom to say, I'm not doing my work today, and you have a team backing you, you have people there supporting you, and you can just be a mom or a wife or a daughter, whatever your need is. We ran this group to help all of you guys hit your goals. You guys have been posting them all day, and I'm sitting there in the hospital reading your guys' comments, and I'm blown away by your goals and your passion and your desire to build your businesses. And you guys seriously are on fire. It's amazing. So the main purpose of this call is to answer any questions that any of you might have based on the information we posted today. I know we threw a and we asked you guys to dig deep and dig for your whys and set those goals. Some of you said they were very ambitious, and that's okay. It's okay to have big, scary, ambitious goals, because once you put them out there, it makes them real, and it makes it easier to attain and to hit those goals because you put them out into the world and you've shared them with other people. So if anybody has any questions or wants to say anything, they can unmute themselves and ask away, and we'll try our very best to answer. Anybody? You guys are quiet. Nobody has any questions whatsoever. You can go in the house.
Hi, Tabitha. This is
Hi.
Mimi Smith. Hi. So, and thank you everybody for sharing your stories. They were really, really inspirational, and a lot of them I could relate to from the, the health challenges and all. But one of the questions I had, Tabitha, you mentioned being able to get your business launched in about 90 days. Can you name one or maybe two activities that you felt were critical to making that successful in those 90 days?
So in those 90 days, I did my power threes. I was doing my workout and sharing every single day. I was inviting, which I absolutely hate doing. And that is a thorn for a lot of people in this business, is the inviting aspect. I was running free groups every single month. I was jumping on team calls, and I was doing my personal development, which I wasn't doing before. that help?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That helped. Thank you. So I've just been making a list of the things that I've been trying to check off and doing everything on my power hour. And so just making sure that, if there was any other tips or any other ideas to help get that kicked off. But thank you. That was helpful.
Does anybody else want to add on to that?
That was a really good question. Somebody just said, how much time a day did you spend building your business in the 90 days? This is going to be different for everybody, for sure. Everybody's priorities are different. Some people are working, some people are at home, some people have bigger goals than others. So there's no right or wrong answer, but I can tell you if your goals are big and scary, then you need to be spending the time that you feel you have to give to this business. But sharing relentlessly on your journey is seriously going to be, I think, your biggest game changer. You have to think, I always take it back, every issue that we have in our life, we always Google, for answers. We look for other people who are going through what we are going through. So you have to envision yourself being that person for somebody else. What you're going through right now, somebody else is going through as well. Somebody else is looking for answers to what they're going through, or somebody to share their journey. So they either know, one, they have somebody to relate to, or two, they can bounce ideas off of. It is such a relief to find somebody who's a real human being, another mom, another woman out there, publicly sharing their story, because you feel like for once in your life, like, aha, I'm not crazy, or I'm not the only one going through this. So for me, that was my biggest challenge, because I'm a huge introvert, but it was also hands down the thing that worked best for me, was just being extremely vulnerable and sharing everything that I was going through, so that other women knew that they could reach out to me, because I was willing to be open about it and talk about it. So that definitely started lots of conversations for me, and got people asking questions, because I was just willing to put it all out there, basically. Made my social media basically like a public diary. So how you go about that will be different, and how much time will be different, but I'm sorry. But that was probably the number one thing for me.
Yeah, and for me, like we get into it, on Team Rising Up, we always talk about the mom cracks. Standing in line at the grocery store, when the kids are in the bath, when they are going to bed, you find the time to just tweak it in. But I also devoted 1 solid hour every single day to my business, usually in the afternoon, 1 hour of doing follow-ups and messages and working on my posts for the next day. And that's what I tell my team all the time. 1 hour a day will take you a long way. It really, really will.
I would like to add to that if I can. I would say that consistency is also super important. When I first started off as a coach, I was pretty good about being consistent with my own nutrition and my own workouts, but I was not consistent about sharing. And I couldn't figure out why I seemed to be attracting, for lack of a better word, flakes, I guess you could say. And I realized that I was getting back what I was putting out. So it's really important to be consistent. I know there's been some trainings out there recently about momentum, and you can't build momentum without consistency. So day in and day out, you have to be there. People are watching what you're doing, and they are gaining trust in you and confidence in you by watching your journey. And so if you fall off the grid for a week or two or whatever, those people, they aren't going to have the faith that you're going to be able to help them. They want to see that you are consistently able to make this lifestyle work for you. And remember that you're planting seeds. So, I've had people that have been watching me for a year finally reach out to me and say, okay, I'm ready. So just remember, it's like harvesting a crop. You have to do the planting, and you have to do the nurturing and the growing before you can do the harvesting. So just keep that in mind, that consistency is key.
Does anybody else have any other questions they'd like to ask?
Can I take this off?
Nothing.
I thought I saw Ariana say she has a question.
Yeah, that was the one Whitney was talking about, the time spent on a business.
Okay.
Okay, well, if nobody else has any other questions, we could end the call. I will repost it in the